Tommy Coolwater here in Huntington, West Virginia, at the site of the Marshall Memorial, the site of the burial of some of the victims of the crash of November 14th, 1970 for Marshall University.
The Marshall University plane crash on November 14, 1970 remains one of the most tragic events in college sports history. Here are some fascinating and heartbreaking facts about the crash. The crash killed all 75 people aboard, including 37 members of the Marshall Thundering Herd football team, coaches, boosters, and flight crew. The Southern Airways Flight 932 was returning from a game against East Carolina University. While attempting to land in Huntington, West Virginia, poor weather conditions and pilot error caused the plane to clip trees and crash just short of the runway. Coach Red Dawson and one player, Tommy Howard, did not board the flight due to a recruiting trip. Dawson played a key role in helping rebuild the team after the tragedy. The 2006 movie We Are Marshall, starring Matthew McConaughey, tells the story of the crash and the university's efforts to rebuild the football program.
The names of the football players that passed away on the flight. Members of the Marshall football team. They also had more individuals involved with this crash. Alumni and friends, as you can see right here. And lasting remembrance of the members of the Marshall University football team, the coaches, staff, and devoted fans who died in the plane crash November 14th, 1970. And here's some of the alumni as well that passed away on that day. The actual crash site's about 13 miles away from this location. We will be going to visit it later. Here's some of the staff members who also passed away in the crash. This is definitely a solemn place, a very honoring place. It's a beautiful memorial dedicated to those lost that tragic night.
We Are Marshall became more than just a rallying cry. It symbolized resilience, remembrance, and the spirit of a university that refused to give up. The NCAA allowed Marshall to play freshmen, which was normally against the rules, to help them field a team for the 1971 season. The young Thundering Herd won its first home game after the crash in 1971, defeating Xavier University 15-13 on a last-second touchdown. Despite the tragedy, Marshall went on to become one of the most successful programs in college football, producing NFL stars like Randy Moss, Chad Pennington, and Byron Leftwich. This memorial, it stands for 6 Marshall football players who couldn't be individually identified after the crash. Their families in this town gave them a place to rest together, side by side, a reminder that they left this world as a team. But the grounds have laid to rest others from the Marshall University tragedy. Even after the crash, here lies Nate Ruffin, a name that echoes with courage and resilience in the heart of Marshall University. Nate was the co-captain of the 1970 Thundering Herd football team. An arm injury kept him off that tragic flight on November 14, 1970, a twist of fate that spared his life but burdened his soul. Instead of succumbing to survivor's guilt, Nate became a pillar of strength. He rallied the university, ensuring that the legacy of his fallen teammates lived on. His dedication was a beacon of hope during Marshall's darkest days. Nate passed away in 2001, his life claimed by leukemia. It's fitting that he's laid to rest here, beside 6 of his teammates, 6 who couldn't be individually identified after the crash. In death, as in life, they remain united.
That's it here from Huntington, West Virginia at the memorial site for the Marshall University victims. I thank you for joining me. Next is going to be the crash site, so we're going to be going to see that today. But good to be here to honor these folks, to remember the memories that they left behind and the lives that could have been. Thank you for joining us.